when we were doing an incident in the park, and I saw a lot of reactions, people saying it was good. So I hope many students will come on board to learn much about how to write an essay as we continue to have these discussions. Now today I'm going to do one of the stories that students really fear, and I hope that you'll open up your mind. Yeah, so how are you? It's now lunchtime, and I hope that as we discuss this, you're going to open your mind and be aware of how to handle the stories in a silent song and other short stories. Now, our question is this. I'm going to read it, and I hope you listen carefully so that you know what I'm discussing. I hope you still remember again, yesterday I told you that when you're giving an introduction, it can be a contextualized, that is generally relating to the text, or an interpretation paraphrased, where you are interpreting the keywords and giving us what you're going to focus on. Now, our question today is: betrayal harms others as depicted in the story, The Sins of the Fathers. Betrayal harms others as depicted in how many characters behave in Charles Mungoshi's The Sins of the Father. Do you agree? Show your answer in an essay. Betrayal harms others as depicted in how many characters behave in Charles Mungoshi's The Sins of the Fathers. Do you agree? Show your answer in an essay. Guys, I hope you really understand that we have keywords here. Yeah. The keywords in this story, the first one is betrayal. The second is harms. Yeah, the two are the keywords only. The rest are not a problem. So when you talk about betrayal, is when we sell out other people, or when we harm or we do wrongs to other people, and it really gets to make them suffer, as shown in the story, The Sins of the Fathers in a Silent Song. So you can actually just say that whenever we sell out the people close to us, or whenever we go against our friends or the people within our families, it really makes them suffer, as the author Charles Mungoshi has shown it in the story The Sins of the Fathers. That is my introduction. Now I'm going to discuss the 4 body paragraphs, and the first one is this. Remember, I'll always be using the topic sentences, then I'll back up my paragraphs with the supporting evidence. Welcome on board. I can see a lot of people coming on board. Thank you for coming on board. You can also have a chat with me so that I actually appreciate you and wherever you are from. It is great to just take your time and watch what somebody is doing. I always do that, because when you do that, it encourages other people. So can you come on board and maybe chat so that I know where you are, and I appreciate whoever you are. All right. So the paragraph 1 of your essay, I expect it to be like this. Rondo feels betrayed by his father and plans to kill him because of the trauma he experiences. Yeah, so let me go to the supporting evidence so that I'm showing where, when, why, how. You know, when we are giving supporting evidence, or what people call background information, we are actually coming to show when, how, why, and all that should be answered. So I'm talking about that, and I'm hoping that I'm not rushing. If I am, please just tell me to tone down. After everyone has left from the party, we see, okay, let me restart from the topic sentence, because there are some people who are requesting that. So Rondo feels betrayed by his father and plans to kill him out of the pain he has experienced. Then I'll go to the body paragraph and explain this. After everyone has left from the funeral, Rondo remains alone with the father, who was once a minister. Rondo, who had never had a gun in his life, has one inside his pocket. He plans to shoot his father, and I think you can refer to page 26. Rondo imagined what happened to the daughter, the two daughters, and the father-in-law, who died in an accident that is questionable. He visualized how the father-in-law, Zamane Basil, had sung a song by Mutukuzi, that is Todili, and then he saw them laughing, and in a moment, a road accident happened. He recalls the tension that had arose between the father and Rafa during the party, the birthday party that they had attended. He recalls how the father had arisen to give information about heroic stories that he had engaged in. Mzamane had been there talking to kids, and being a conspicuous politician, no one could hide his identity. So they kept entertaining guests, that is page 39. All along, the two old men respected each other, as Rafa referred to Basil as Honorable MP. Then someone asked the minister to tell the story to the children, and he asked them really whether they wanted it. Rafa began to talk of betrayals and traditional enemies in time immemorial. He went ahead on endless discussions, and this can be confirmed from page 39 when he talked about enemies of state, enemies of the clan, and people who spat in the face of their own people. Of course, this was directed towards Basil because they had been enemies, that is the Muziviti and Ndevele people. Mr. Mzamane asked to leave immediately after the party had gone sour and took Selina's twins. Rondo recalls that once the father-in-law left, the mother had asked whether anyone had seen her husband, and no one took initiative. You can check that on page 41. Now, the tragic accident is related to the mysterious death that happens on the streets. And of course, Rondo's father is blamed for such death. Now, after the tragic accident, his friends had come for the funeral, especially Gaston, who had given him a gun and reminded him to recall of the arguments. Rondo had actually visualized his father and the occurrences surrounding it. As they sat near the fireplace, Rondo had experienced a mysterious feeling that the father had been moving from chair to chair, and he had indeed come to see him as a treacherous father who had betrayed him. He therefore came to a conclusion that he would find what the wife thinks, and later on, not hearing from her, he went with a gun to the office of the father and tried to shoot him. But he realized he could not do so. So he then asked the father to shoot him. Unfortunately, since the father saw the failure in his upbringing of the son, he killed himself. So we can actually see that as a result of betrayal, there is suicide that happens because Mzamane, Basil, we see that the father to Rondo feels, that is Rafa, feels that he had indeed failed. Paragraph 2. Mr. Basil Mzamane possibly betrays Mr. Rafa, and this ignites the death of both. Are you seeing that? Let me give the supporting evidence. Rondo's father eyed the farm at Rua, that is the farm of Mr. Quayle, the white. Rondo learns from Mr. Quayle that the father had worked with him in one of the bookshops in town. Mr. Rafa invites Mr. Mzamane to come along with him and watch the dark shooting event. Mzamane asks how they could shoot the sitting ducks. And while in the vehicle, they drive towards Rua Place. Then, in the Pajero, they see a truck that is actually parked by the roadside. It is full of the youth singing the Chumurenga songs, and they are waving ugly-looking clubs. They also have arrows, spears, and they are ready to shoot. As they turn off the main road to the farm, the young people seem to be following them. Check that on page 35. The singing intensifies as they approach the farm, and the young people sing to be after someone's blood. The trio come upon a white woman in a jeep, and she is quite horrified because the young men want to hit her. So she looks up at Rondo, who is driving into the dusty, noisy halting the car. The lorry with the noisy chanting youth pulls behind Ruafa's car. And the white woman freezes, gripping a greasy spanner. The young people jump out, advancing her. Yes, only for Mzamane to speak to them, reminding them that they shouldn't treat a visitor in such a way, and that is not the way he would wish to be welcomed by them. He also tells them that they should not kill someone before him. Remember, at the point, Mzamane had sneaked out of the vehicle mysteriously. The youth seemed to listen to him and calm down, then drive away. The woman appreciates what Mzamane has done, but when Ruafa comes back, he's so annoyed and calls Mzamane and the son traitor, because the son is actually saying he has always visited this woman. Now, the quarrel in the vehicle, or rather the betrayal that was felt here, I hope you understand. Now, the same happens when Mzamane tells Rondo about the story of a white farmer in Manhize Mountains, that they believed of Azimu. And once he allowed these people to relate with them, then he began to have a good harvest. So Ruafa calls him a traitor, and that he should keep quiet if he respects them. Now, in the process, we see the anchor leads to an accident that later Basil feels or experiences, and the death of Ruafa. Paragraph 3. Mr. Ruafa betrays his son in the bringing by also planning the death of his children, and this brings a lot of suffering to both the son and the family. Let's discuss the evidence behind it. Rondo feels that he has not been brought up well by the father. He recalls very harsh incidences such as the guitar that was broken during the birthday after the uncle brought him, and how the father shouted at him. He claims he urinated in his clothes and he lost all the confidence he had. He also talks about how his father had called him a snob while he was after his school, and took him to the journalism company to be employed as a journalist. His father never addressed him with any sort of respect. He recalls also how he brought Selina home, and the father asked where she came from, and once he knew about the tribe she came from, he dismissed her. He never even attended the wedding, and he also dismissed the children who were daughters because he expected sons. We also look at the later on how with age, Rondo just dismisses the son from his life. His father did not explain anything, but the mother talked about the war that had happened about the Zuviti and the Bele people, hence leading to deepest curse that could make the father not forgive anyone. In the process, we see that Rondo feels betrayed by the father, and therefore, when the accident of the daughters happened, he believes that the father organized it, and is so hurt that he plans to kill his father. The fourth paragraph, body paragraph, Mr. Rondo feels betrayed by his wife and co-workers, hence he lives miserably. Let's have evidence. Immediately after his daughter's death in an accident, Rondo thinks that he is afraid of a shadow and that his wife, he has been right all the time, to look down upon him. He recalls how Selina's sentiments about being in his father's loins has been, that he could do better in her pants than in his father's shadow. He also recalls how his journalist fraternity discarded him and laughed at him helplessly, but always sought of help from him because they thought he had not grown up. Look at page 32 for evidence. He is aware of not being such a brilliant journalist, and he realizes that even his mother could not trust him as able to kill Ruafa, therefore gave Selina a gun. Rondo bends his head in silence and feels disrespected, or rather unrated, by his wife, mother, and co-workers. Indeed, betrayal can make us look miserable in life. Conclusion. Overall, betrayal is a painful experience that most of us should avoid, and therefore, as we live with people, we should avoid making them feel like they have been sold out in any way, as it happens to Rondo, Ruafa, and Basil in the story, The Sins of the Fathers. Thank you. I hope now you still don't have fear for this story, The Sins of the Fathers. It's very long, I understand. But just pick the evidences from the story, because the story carries the aspects of poor parenting. It also bears the aspects of betrayal and unforgiveness. So if you look around that, then you can easily understand how to handle the story, The Sins of the Fathers. Now let's look in general life. Do we have parents who treat their kids as such? And do we have betrayals that happen between our parents and children? Do you have betrayals that happen as a result of maybe how we speak to others? Now, you can look around and see if you have an enemy you hate just because you believe they betrayed you in one way. Do you believe your parent betrayed you, maybe by making you not go for your career, making you lose an item that you really valued, a gift for birthday or something of that sort, and you never got it? So it led to a misery in your life. Sometimes betrayal can lead even to death, as we have seen in that story. Now, maybe someone betrays you and you decide to revenge. Of course, it will end up in crisis. So thank you for having been stay put. I didn't see a lot of engagement in terms of chats, but I know that maybe possibly people are still working or traveling. But one time I'll also do another essay, maybe in the evening like tomorrow, so that we can have more people on board discussing how the sins of the fathers can actually catch up with the kids. Thank you for those who came on board. I really wished for chats which I didn't get, but I hope you can subscribe to my channel for continuous discussion and engagements. Thank you and have a nice afternoon, good lunch if you have not had it, and nice evening if you not had it. So then I'll make other videos tomorrow. For today, I'll go to TikTok and Facebook. Follow me on that. Bye-bye.